Hello, everyone. Welcome to the January 9th group sync, first of the sync for the year. I apologize for any background noise at the airport. That's always fun. But if there's nothing anyone needs to get at the beginning of the meeting, we can go ahead and do the build board review. I will share the screen. Uh, and we've got a couple items open here. We have the product analytics billing and VC implementation. And actually, anything you want to cover here? I know we have pricing and things like that, but anything you want to call out?
Sorry, cut out there. I'm assuming you said, was there anything to add?
Yeah, anything you wanted to call it out with the billing and VC? My apologies.
Not not right now. I've managed to set up customers Dart and Zora and GDK to all work nicely together and can sort of do that flow myself locally, which is good. So whatever comes out of the conversation between yourself and Sam later today will kind of decide what happens next in terms of which bits of customers Dart I need to learn to start putting a plan together, which I'm hoping to do during the remainder of this week.
Yeah, and without getting too much into the specifics of it, we need to figure out what the model we want to use for as far as purchasing is so that we can follow the pre-existing models that we have in customers dot. So hopefully we can make some progress in the discussion later today, and then we'll go from there. Cool, we've got a couple of the milestone planning issues and the data launch plan. Sam, anything you wanted to call out here as far as the launch plan is concerned, or are we okay there?
No, nothing to call out for this one.
Cool. We have a path traversal check bypass, which is a security issue that we can fix in public. Issue is confidential though, but we have scheduled it for the next milestone. If anyone wants to pick that up, please feel free to. There's an issue here with vector event shipping timeout switch, I think. Created. Yes. So got a couple of errors where eventually they succeed, but we do have some timeouts there. So potentially kind of just acting on any of the error logs we're getting from our observability. We've got an issue as I announced, I believe last week, we did add a couple new columns to the build board specific to problem and solution validation. As far as the issues in here right now, I don't know if there's too much to speak to for at least the queue pre-activations because I think we're kind of we're not really able to implement those at this point, if I'm not mistaken. But we do have funnel visualizations not working. Rob, I know you've just gotten back from your holidays, so anything you want to add here, or no?
Just
No,
generally,
nothing more.
my plan that I proposed seems to have general acceptance that is a good way forward. So I'm ramping myself back up, but I will be breaking that out and putting that forward for scheduling.
Awesome. And then we have add descriptions to Cube.js schema, which is something that's been filed by Owen as he's been exploring the natural language querying experiments for AI. Having descriptions can help the model relate user queries to our data, so it's something we can look into. I'm all for that. Looks like it's been pulled into the next one, but yeah, we can see if we want to pull that into the next one as well. And we've also got hardening the funnel schema, but I believe this is blocked on revenue issue looking at already. So, unless there's anything you want to call out here, we can continue on. All right, I'm ready for development. We have two issues that are unassigned, so available for anyone to pick up as far as adding product analytics visualizations to customer dashboard before the feature is onboarded, and also dropping the backup tables from Windows migrations. Otherwise, moving forward, we have determining a backup strategy for product analytics for SaaS. As part of the working group, we may have determined that we would actually just stand up services for like restore backups to each ClickHouse service as the days roll on to effectively have a 7-day rolling backup window. We've asked ClickHouse if they can expand the window, but it doesn't seem like they're able to do that. But that's something we could do since there's only a 2-day, just for context, there's only a 2-day backup window. So we could theoretically just keep standing up or restoring backups to new services and have that work a little bit as a daily fix. The next issue is also assigned to me as far as logging. This, again, just remains kind of on infrastructure's hands in terms of the environments that they manage. Making sure that we can actually get logging completed. But as far as what we can do, we've already done as much as we can. And then Halil, you've got scrape and ship cube metrics to our monitoring stack. Anything you want to add here?
So actually it's not really possible. I will not going to scrape and ship cube metrics because cube doesn't expose a metrics endpoint. So I'm going to close this, but just I'm checking if we can actually do something with the logs of the cube. And after that, I will close it. Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks for your work there. We've got the add with fill order by Rob's favorite issue. Anything you'd want to add here?
They actually got back to me while I was on holiday. Finally, still not great news. They basically, the developer turned around and said, "No, I want this on every provider, database provider, even though none of them, other than ClickHouse, support this ability." I am going to be moving this out of in review into probably problem validation or something like that, just so I can spend some time to try and figure out the next path forward in regards to this, because right now I'm stuck.
Not the best day for the dependencies we have. For those that
No,
have seen the Snowplow one or Cube. But fair enough. Keen to know what our other options are there. Or if we need to think in terms of longer term solutions there. But thanks for keeping up with that. I have gathering cost data, which is just something I need to keep up with, I guess, especially as we have more time, more accuracy to see what our costs are. So that's definitely still pending, though my attention's kind of been pulled elsewhere, which I'll get to later in the agenda. Iano's out of office right now, but he's working on adding a banner to build some dashboard for feedback collection. I'm not sure if anyone can speak to that. All right, well, we'll keep going on. It's in review, so hopefully not too much other than it's just waiting for feedback or some changes. But we've got analytics dashboard columns are no longer responsive that Ellen's working on, as well as visualization designer is successful before it is functional. Just pause if anyone has anything they'd like to add there. Otherwise, we can move on to Khalil, who's got exposing Prometheus metrics on the configurator.
So yeah, it's about the Snowplow configurator, the analytics configurator, sorry, and it's under review. It's basically the minimal Go metrics that's coming by default.
Got it. Cool. And then we've got natural language querying as far for the visualization designer, which is part of our AI experiment. Max, anything you'd like to add here, or?
Yeah, it's looking good. I mean, fundamentally, it works as much as anything written through an LLM works. But it does what it's supposed to do mostly. I'm just passing it back to Nicholas, who's doing like an AI framework review and sort of maintainer review as well. So with any luck, the backend might actually merge by the end of my day today. Then Elwin can start plugging that in, and we can have something that does some cool AI stuff.
Awesome. Well, it'd be good to show that off a little bit as the quarter comes to an end, so that we can make the decision on whether we want to build that out as a free MVC. Cool. And then we've got a bunch of closed issues. Our last one was putting Python links behind a feature flag, which is this one. We've resolved a bug as far as rendering the access labels in dark mode. Max, you've restored a ClickHouse Cloud backup. Is kind of just doing a sanity check to make sure what we've put in the runbooks is makes sense. Anything else you want to add?
No, it worked. Restoring smaller projects directly via the UI as opposed to the CLI was much more efficient, so worth bearing in mind. But yeah, seemed to work as we needed it to.
Yeah, and I guess related to, just for context, the ClickHouse working group is trying to figure out an automated solution to be able to restore larger data sets or entire service backups as well, because that'll have to be batched. So for us, it's not too much of an issue since we're looking at restoring just some projects, but for an entire cluster, for example, that might take a little bit more. But hopefully we can resolve that with bringing in a bucket as well. But yeah, Rob, you've got the next two as far as Cube is concerned. Anything you wanted to add to any of these issues?
If I remember correctly, because this was before I went away, I was restricting Cube. So internally, it can only communicate with itself. and external communication can only happen from one specific endpoint, just making the whole interaction a lot more secure and restrictive than what we currently had.
Awesome. And then Max, you've had something similar for ClickHouse Cloud. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, so now all the ClickHouse networking goes via a private GCP connection rather than over the public internet, which is just more another layer of security. There's now no way to access ClickHouse via any sort of network connection other than via the Kube API pods in Kubernetes, which does make debugging a little trickier, but greatly increases our security. So a sensible trade-off, in my opinion.
Yeah, and for those that need debug access as well, we can't get you developer access to ClickHouse Cloud, and you could add yourself your specific IP to the allow list. So it's a couple more steps, but it's still possible, right?
I forgot to add as well, you can access it via the ClickHouse Cloud UI. So if you've got access to that, then you're all good.
Yeah. So if anyone ever needs it for debugging purposes, it should be orange data, but still, if anyone needs access, let us know. Sorry, I was still muted. We've also closed the bug for showing the visualization designer button if the custom dashboard path is configured. And Elwin has resolved showing a distinct set of URLs of pages listed in the top pages panel. So we should not see the index or the same URLs more than once as far as an aggregate count. He's also delivered the funnel MVC for being able to render them in a bar chart. And then we've also closed out the beta release plan. So huge congrats to the team there. The beta is officially available. The launch plan is to follow. Max, anything to add there?
Sorry, I muted. No, not at the moment.
Awesome. Prior to that beta release, I also just kind of made some updates to the shared cluster just to replicate what settings we have for Kafka and things like that in terms of being a little bit more resilient on the shared production cluster as we made the beta available. Jan's wrapped up project level settings remaining visible when disabled on an instance, and we've also made a number of improvements here. Khalil, I think you've got most of these. Anything you want to call out?
So basically, yeah, we updated the documentation, showing that it's now an experiment, it's in the beta, and also there is some instructions that it's SASS feature only, and the rest of them actually are all monitoring related issues.
Thanks for that, and it's good to see we're getting more and more metrics out there so we can set up more dashboards. I may have mentioned, or I dropped in Slack earlier, but we lost our dashboards again. That shouldn't happen anymore, but a little unfortunate. But I'll be working on recreating the dashboards we had previously. So yeah. Cool. Well, that wraps up the board review. Looking at the agenda, I might have the next point. Yeah, I just wanted to call attention to a potential shift in priorities and something to discuss it more broadly, but AI incubation engineering is looking at how we can make visible the impact of AI features back to customers. So it's something that's been discussed. We're trying to figure out what possible solutions are, but we're still going to figure out what the priority of this all really means. So if we're going to be shifting priorities or not, it would be largely it would rely mostly on analytics instrumentation in terms of implementing the solution. But if we need to visualize it in a dashboard, that's where we're going to have to come in. So no immediate change yet, but I just wanted to call out visibility to that just so everyone's aware. Cool. Then I think Yevgen, you've got show and tell. So anything you want to share with us?
Yeah, hello. So the first thing I wanted to share is that my team in quality engineering transitioned to a team called Test and Tools Infrastructure now. And within this team, we are building a roadmap. And one of the tracks for roadmap will be related to product analytics. So just wanted to let you know that we are working on this, and it will be shared, I think, by the end of January. Yeah, so just wanted to share with you that that's something that's happening. And for the second one, I have end-to-end tests in the pipeline for dev kit. This one I can actually maybe show. I'll share screen quickly. But before I jump to that, is there any questions about roadmap maybe, or anything at all you would like to ask?
Is there any input perhaps required from our side in terms of influencing that roadmap, or is it more just factoring in what we need into test platforms roadmap?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll check it. It's in draft now, but once finalized, once it's like first version of roadmap, let's say, it will be shared, and I think any feedback, of course, will be welcome, and we can maybe adjust it if needed.
Awesome, cool. And yeah, I would love to see that end-to-end pipeline.
Yeah, so for dev kit pipelines, I'll share my screen. So I have a merge request in dev kit. So the changes that are made are mainly to GitLab CI YAML, that is adding a job that will run test. And the job will pick up a new Docker Compose file and basically run the test based on this Docker Compose file. What it will do is basically this one. This command will run the test. And it's because GitLab QA Docker image is the one that will run the test. And in Docker file, we can see which command will be executed to run the test. So it's within GitLab QA Docker container. It will run this command. We'll pick up any test that is tagged with product analytics product group from this directory. So currently it's just one test which is onboarded. And if we go to pipelines, we can see a new job here, which is called end-to-end tests based on the CI YAML. So this job will pull all the Docker images, we'll set up it using Docker Compose, and we'll run the test. We can see test logs here, so what's actually happening, there's clicks and waits and other things. So in this example, you can see the test is passing because of that job passed. So my idea is to, maybe we should run it on every MR, but we can discuss probably. The reason is like why how it will impact the workflow is it will add 12 minutes to the pipeline. So if you need like quick feedback or, so, I mean, it will be not as quick as before, right? When we make a merge request, get a feedback in a few minutes and we can merge maybe if review is passed. But in this case, it will be extra 12 minutes. So the test itself is only 2 minutes, 2 minutes and a half. But the main thing is pulling the images and waiting for GitLab JDK to start. And it takes like at least 5 minutes for Webpack to start within the JDK. So that's what taking the most of time. I'm not sure how we can avoid that yet, but for now it will be 12 minutes. So yeah, and as all other pipelines, it will basically run whenever a new commit gets into a branch that MR is based on. So I just wanted to show this, and if you have any feedback or if you'd like to, just because I need to get it merged at some stage, if you're happy with it, I would be glad if you can go to the merge request and maybe approve, or if you have any feedback, of course, you can comment and I can update something. So that's what I wanted to show.
Oh, sorry. So I was going to suggest, have you looked at Docker layer caching to speed up the Docker build? We can chat about it separately. I'll put the link in the Zoom chat for now.
Yeah. I was thinking of that. Probably we can cache images that are already pulled. That's what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, yeah, that would be a great improvement if we can do that.
If it can be done, it might save a couple of minutes. But yeah, something to have a look at. I'm happy to walk through it if you want.
Yeah, 12 minutes in the grant. Oh, no. Thanks again for showing this off. I think it's really cool, especially like if you look through this suite, we have full event emitting and we're able to verify the onboarding in true end-to-end fashion. So I think that'll be also good, especially since we've had a lot of bugs with permissioning and making sure the controls appear when they should be and when they should not be. So very useful overall. As Max pointed out, I think there are probably some optimizations we can make, but overall, I mean, 12 minutes, I don't think we get any MR merged within 12 minutes anyway. So I think you can, I'm totally fine, I guess.
You've crashed, Dennis.
Dennis. Oh.
Screen grab, quick.
That'll be the thumbnail for the recording.
You can take a look at the MR.
Dennis, we lost you for the last 30, 45 seconds. I think we lost him again.
Public Wi-Fi. Ugh.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we can assume Dennis will maybe be back or not. Does anyone have other agenda topics we want to go through for today, though?
I just quickly wanted to say for Imogen, regarding the Webpack issues, you could take a look at using Vite instead, which is enabled for GitLab. It's far quicker. The known limitations don't affect product analytics because we don't use WebIDE and we're not testing WebIDE and all that sort of areas. So I don't know if that's enabled for QA pipelines, but it's something to take a look. It's a lot quicker to set up and get running.
What was it again? White?
Vite, I'll send you a link.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I certainly will have a look. Not sure if it's possible and easy to do that, to switch, because it's by default, it's using Webpack there.
Sorry about that. Where did I stop at, or were we about to wrap things up?
I worry that you were talking for quite a long time before, while we couldn't hear you.
Gotcha. Well, I was just saying, 12 minutes isn't a big deal in the grand scheme of things, and we'll take a look at the MR, but apologies, I switched to the different Wi-Fi, and hopefully I'll be on a little bit longer. But no, cool. Then, is there anything else anyone would like to highlight in the? All right, well, it's good to see everybody. Happy New Year, and have a good rest of your Tuesday.
Oh, well, have a nice flight, Dennis.
All right. We'll talk soon, everyone.
Bye all.
Bye all.
Bye.